Okay. Again, we'll have to start on page Kuf Mem Dalet, although we went a little further. Actually, maybe we'll go to the next section. We go on Kuf Mem Hey to the paragraph begins there, in and who. The rest we'll just introduce. There's one thing that I'd like to preamble to what follows. I've explained many times the implication of the word vihine, which is very, very common, very prevalent in Chassidus. And we explained the word vihine means behold. Behold means take interest in what you see. Since you see it, who has to tell you to see it? Behold means recognize what it is that you see. And what's the point? Since you're learning from words and descriptions and explanations, so what's the point of saying what you see and what do you see? Where do you get that vision from? In the truth, however, this vihine, this beholding, is of extreme importance. As a matter of fact, that is the basis for everything that you understand subsequently. We always speak about, we point out a principle that you cannot, by training, no matter how extensive, transform or bring an animal up to the level of a human being. You can train him in doing all kinds of different things. Like the story with the Rambam. You have to know that this debate and this controversy went all the way back to the Rambam 1,000 years ago, where his contemporaries, the scientists of his days, claimed that an animal can be raised to the human status, state. And they went, and this was under royal supervision, and he ordered that they should prove it, and they took a year to train a cat. And they trained the cat to serve at a meal. When they said they're ready, the king ordered to arrange a great feast at which they will prove their point, and the Rambam will have to disprove them. It was a great feast, and lo and behold, the cat was walking around and serving the guest. And it was an amazing thing. They rejoiced in their victory because in fact the cat was well trained and served in a very nice way. Then the king turned to the Rambam, "No, what do you say?" So the Rambam said he needs to be excused for a moment. The Rambam went back home, wherever he went back. He came back in a short while later. And the king said, "No, you have an answer?" He said, "Yes." The Rambam stood up, and he took a little box out of his pocket. He opened this box, and out jumps a mouse. The cat holding a plate of food or whatever it is. So the mouse dropped everything and soiled all the guests around it and jumped to follow to chase the mouse. That was the Rama's answer. The point is, you can train actions, but you cannot train a sense of value, an inner sense, namely the vehine, that which you see because your soul sees it. This is the primary reality upon which all your thoughts are based. That is something which is imbued in a person via his neshama. This cannot be trained, nor can it be explained. This is a unique gift, divine gift to the human being, that he has a neshama that perceives a truth of a different level, not of the perceived and tangible level, but from a level of, sometimes we'll discuss it, primarily it is, so to speak, a divine level, recognizing that everything in the world is not just a presence, but a created presence. Since it's a created presence, it carries with it, as we are learning now, the spirit of its creator. That cannot be transmitted. Vehine means behold. This beholding, which is the simple sight that a person has, we spoke many times that simple sight is on par, Gashmi is on par with Chokhmah. Chokhmah is that which we know, not by training and by learning. This is the knowledge, the inherent knowledge of the neshama. This is what distinguishes the neshama of a human being versus the life force in an animal. As I've said many times, and I'm going to reiterate, Rebbe created all creatures and he put life into them. The difference between the human being and all other creatures, despite the fact that they are alive, is that all other creatures are primarily bodies. And everything that they understand, they see, is on the bodily level. Therefore, to define them in a statement is a living body. The human being is in a completely different status. He is primarily the neshama, life. He sees things from a neshama perspective. To him, reality is what the neshama identifies for itself. Therefore, for the human being, the proper way to describe him is life in a body. He is primarily not a body, he is life. Life in a body. That itself is a great miracle, that the Rebbe should put this kind of life into a body. But this is, it says that this is...
to remain on this call, press 1.
That this is in fact a divine miracle that connects Ruchnis and Gashmis. But it remains Ruchni. It remains life, pure life. This is why human being is able to see, like Chokhmah, without having to tangibly identify it and explain it. He's able to see, to see that which the neshama sees. Because Chokhmah is at that level. Having said all that, I want to go back to a little bit of a difficulty that I encountered yesterday with the principle of Mishoneh. Misholim, a moshel. We must not misunderstand the purpose and the effect of a moshel. The idea of a moshel is not just to compare a Gashmatiki situation to a Ruchmatiki situation, or to alert you to alert you to something that you've experienced. A moshel is to enable, just because a moshel is from a state, from a level that we readily relate to as a reality, like we see it. The moshel is used to present AYIN and Chassidus at the side level. Just as you understand this, you see this directly, this is what I mean over here. So that then we begin in the explanation in Chassidus also from a side level, from Chochmah level. Then we have something to learn. Chochmah is the beginning of wisdom, the basis of wisdom, not our physical experiences and so forth. This is the significant, the purpose of a moshel. The purpose of a moshel is not to be able to repeat something that I learned. The purpose of a moshel is to get us to the perception level of Chochmah. From there we begin to decipher what we have seen and what it is what it stands for. Okay, having said that, let's continue, because Misholim are not just to be able to describe things. Misholim is to be able to relate personally on a neshama level to what is being explained. Okay. Well, I said let's start from Kuf Mem Hey. We already to the top section we already went through. Principally, what we said that there is Oy Pnimi and Oy Makif. Oy Pnimi is that which imbues internally and becomes part of that, of the receptacle where it is placed. Or Makif is that which hovers above. We pointed out the significance of the term Or Pnimi and Or Makif. Because at first glance one would say Makif is an oir, is a light. It emanates from a luminaire, from a source, and essentially it functions in a super physical manner. Pnimi is that which is absorbed within a keli, and principally it goes to the level of the tangibility, of full description. And yet, both of them are referred to as oir pnimi and oir makif. We spoke many times, and I want to bring us down to a very clear point. 2 times 2 equals to 4. And I've mentioned many times that this term equals to 4 is a misnomer. It's a very superficial view of this phenomenon. And 2 times 2 is not equal to 4, but it makes 4. And what's the different significance? When you say equals to 4, you're talking about is just a superficial observation. When you say makes for, you're talking about the reality, a real part in the world, part of the creation. The principle of equal to 4, that can be proven, that even so to speak, a mechanical machine can understand, can give you the answer. Is 4 is only within the private of a human being. A human being recognizes and understands the significance of 2 times 2 is 4. Because when you have 2, so you have room only for 2. When you multiply by 2, now you have to expand the receptacle where you fit it into. Why is it so simple that our mind understands that 2 times 2 is 4? We don't question, how are you going to fit it? We don't have any difficulty in accepting that statement. They explained the reason we can accept this statement simply without protest, without the need to prove and show and explain how. The answer is because we perceive that this world is a divine creation, and as such, it sets no limit as to what can develop in it. Two can become 4. 4 can become 8. Because the buttress, the initial basis of the world is limitless. This is also the principle that we say that Chokhmah is the basis of all understanding. Why need the Chokhmah? You can explain things on a practical, physical level. But it's what Chokhmah for. Especially simple things like 2 times 2. The answer is, if you do not have the Chokhmah, if you do not have the perception of infinity, of a higher level of reality, then your understanding is going to be very superficial. You're not going to really understand, relate to what this is about. Because there's no significance, no life behind it. You'll be talking only about the tangible part of it, not about what it represents, where it comes from, how come this is true. Even to that level of such a simplicity as 2 times 2, already Chokhmah plays a very important role. That you're perceiving the first 2 and the second 2 as being brought up, as being contained, and being supported by something superior to 2 and 4, by infinity itself. This is what Seichel is about. Coming back to the Moshel, I said I had a little bit of a controversy yesterday. The Moshel, the Moshel is meant that we should focus in and actually experience the reality of this Moshel, even though it's only a more physical Moshel. Because this experience of the reality of this Moshel gives you the possibility of experiencing that which is being explained in Chassidus.
I'm losing track here. We're talking about Mashalim, or there's a Nimshal we're talking about? When we went from the mathematical to Chokhmah being an infinite foundation, the Nimshal was Chokhmah. I'm not following what the main points are here.
Okay, so here is exactly what we're missing in the significance of a Moshel. Exactly that. The point of this mashal, of the idea of 2 times 2 equals to 4, is 4. It's a physical, plain physical mashal. And the point, why do I need a mashal for that? What's the point of this mashal? The point of this mashal is to see, to actually recognize and see, experience that 2 times 2 is 4 is based on a greater spiritual reality than the 2 and the 2.
But that's like saying mathematics has a root up above. What's our point?
This mashal, even at this level, shows you that in Seichel there is the higher level that is the principal basis of all this, of the Seichel. So therefore the mashal in Chassidus, we're talking about the sun, we're talking about all the mashalim, is a physical mashal to bring us our thinking and make us experience a reality that is being explained, but see the reality of that which has been explained, not the explanation, not only the explanation.
Okay, so it's to marry the sort of physical and the superphysical, to unify them, saying by the mathematical we have a seemingly physical formula relating to the physical, but truly it has roots in infinity.
One more step that you have not said. That ultimately the principle of Seichel, when we ultimately understand the simple statement 2 times 2 is 4, we understand it with our Chochmah primarily, even though we are speaking about it on a very tangible level. But this is what distinguishes the human being understanding and versus lahavdil, the animal, which is not capable of having this higher perception, the perception of the truth of it.
We don't understand it primarily with our chokhmah, but the chokhmah is the basis for it. If I say 6 times 6 is 36.
One second. The reason that we can accept a statement that 6 times 6 is 36 is due to a broader perception that is provided by Chokhmah.
Okay, and all of this is a side exploration about Mashalim in general, or this came out of something we started today?
No, this is this is by Mashalim in general.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I brought out because we had the same thing like we have now. What's a Mashalim? Why do you convince with Mashalim? Let's learn directly. The idea of a Mashal is to reveal, to give a sense of reality on the higher level of that which you're learning. To bring it to the level of Behine, of a Chokhmah reality rather than a proven mathematical formula. Proven mathematical formula does not really engage in the Neshama at all. This is the significance and the basis of Neshalim. Since that the physical experience is something which we readily experience, so by bringing this up and saying, I'm going to talk to you about a spiritual union, but you should be able to experience the spiritual union the same way as you experience this physical experience, on the basis of your Chochmah. All right, let's continue on page Kuf Mem Hey. Up until this point, there's this paragraph begins there. We were discussing the following phenomenon. We said that there is Oyer Pnimi and there's Oyer Makif. And we said that Oyer Makif primarily represents the source of the Oyer. The etzem. And this is why it's makif. It does not imbue itself into a keli, it doesn't become internalized, because it is beyond being internalized. It remains connected to its source. Or Pnimi, on the other hand, does imbue it into a keli. Or Pnimi has as its purpose and as a defined presence to affect and to have an effect on the outside. Or Makib is primarily to reveal and to tell you what the etzem, what the source is. And the Rebbe said, however, Or Makib also has a peula, also has a practical effect. But we have to understand the difference between the piyula of Oyer Makif and the piyula of Oyer Pnimi. They both have a piyula, as we said before. On the other hand, they both have piyula and they're both called Oyer. Even Oyer Pnimi is also Oyer. Let me discuss this for a moment. If Oyer Pnimi is imbued in a keli, why is it called Oyer? And this is where we started talking about the 2 times 2 is 4. Because in order to perceive and accept the concept in our seichel, not practically in our seichel, but in this 4, we have to have the source. We have to have the infinity of the source that says that the world can accommodate anything. It is not limited to that which we identify physically. That's why the Pnimi is also called Oyer. Oyer means it is still, even though it becomes Pnimi, a physical, it's still representative of the source of sources, of the Creator. And then there is the Oyer Makif, that also has a piyula. The difference between the Oyer Makif and Oyer Pnimi, even though they both are Oyer and they both have a piyula, the difference is that the Oyer Pnimi, the piyula, is engaging the Oyer. And it is engaging it changes the purity of the oil into an action level. Whereas Oyer Makif has its effect not by becoming an active thing. Its effect is b'derech hamelech. Its presence has its effect. This is what we explained till now. Let's see how far we can. We know we cannot go very far, but let's start the next paragraph. Vehoinyan hu. The principle behind this, which we explained, the difference between Makif, Oyer Makif, and Oyer Pnimi. And as we pointed out, it's interesting, very important to note. Both are called Oyer on the one hand, and both have an effect externally on the other hand. And yet there's a fundamental difference between the two. The Ho'inyanu, the Inyan is this. Why is there a fundamental difference between them, even though they both have the similar primary ingredient? The Hine, for behold. After we say the first line, we'll go back to behold. What are we trying? What are we beholding? Hine, for behold. The first thing is we say behold means that we are now alluding, we are now calling to action and to consciousness, our primary consciousness, our chokhmah, our sense of reality. Not how we are affected by it, but our sense of reality. So behine, behold. Bechol dover, in everything, yesh atzmus v'yispashtus. There is an essence, and then there is the effect of its presence. Yispashtus means how it affects its surrounding. In everything there is atzmus and yispashtus. Let us stop for a second. This is going to be explained and so forth, but just even from these two terms. Atzmus means an essence. An essence means that which this thing is unto itself. It's a reality. It's real not because it has an effect. It is real because it is real by its own definition. Hispashtus means how this reality embraces its surrounding, affects its surrounding.